I can answer negatively. What actually kills me is when I come to a place and I see people are unhappy.
I really want to invite Dom, we call him Dom, to come upstairs to me. Dom, thank you so much for being with us. What an honor. We do enjoy at the Business Forum interviewing people from our City Lights community that we know are doing well and know about the topic, not just from theoretical perspective, but from life, from practicing it every day. Dom, there's so many things that you actually do and who you are, and I don't think I would do justice explaining it myself. So can you take a little bit of time and tell us, who are you and what do you do?
It's a bit of a difficult question, right? Because I do a lot of things. So I have mainly 4 pillars, right? So I'm running a revenue-generating company, which is my law firm. I'm a lawyer by profession. And that's my main activity. So basically, if you look at me on internet, you will see Dominique, the lawyer, right? So I have 4 offices, 2 in the UAE, 1 in Switzerland, 1 in Malta, and I basically have a number of employees working on that. That would be the key pillar, which is securing and paying the bills, right? So then out of that, I manage also actively as an active investor different companies. And so I have a big spirit company, so alcohol company, so where we produce a number of different spirits across the world and distribute logistics and everything. So I have a portion of my employees at the law firm that actually work also full time for that one. And it's a very nice experience. It's very different. You have the feeling to produce something at the end that you can hold in your hands, not only drafting contracts and advising clients and making them get the success of their own business, and you're just part of it, but you're actually growing the business yourself. We also manage an AI-based company, so it's a legal tech. So we incubated that in the law firm, and we extracted that. Now it's 17 people. We have offices in Switzerland, in Dubai as well, in the Philippines, and we're opening in the US now. So it's the law firm of the future, and then that's what actually takes my intellectual interest for the time being. So I'm very focused on that one. And so that is basically my second pillar, right? So the passive active investor, and the third one is a charitable one. So that answer to someone at my table that says, how can I actually create a Christian business? And so I don't know, whoever attends the church will hear from it soon. I think there will be an announcement, but we are working on launching Christian coffee shops. And basically, there will be the first one in JVC opening. So it's going to be a very large one, Christian focus place where you can go open almost 24 hours every day with Christian values, hiring people in needs, and everything. So that has started out of a small prophecy that was given to me a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And then we already have requests to be in more than almost 20 countries so far.
Yeah.
So that's...
So you're running quite a lot of businesses, and then you are still inspired to start something new, which means your plate gets actually fuller by day. Yeah. So this topic, so maybe not doing less, but being strategic about what you say yes to and what you say no to, this is something you actually need to live every day. Otherwise, how do you do all of this?
So actually you learn from it, right? So what you have to do is to surround yourself with the right people. So at the beginning, what you try to do everything yourself, right? And you try to do everything yourself because you don't know, because you're scared, and because, if I hire people, I need to pay them, where is the money coming from, and everything. So you need to trust, you need to take risks, but you need to know how to select the people right. So there is a concept called who, not how. So that means don't try to do everything yourself, or you get exhausted, but you need to find the right people that have better abilities than you, and you need to let go of this, right? So you need also to accept that everything will not be exactly the way you want, but generally speaking, it's going to be fine, right? So the outside needs to be fine and needs to be moving. So if you look at big companies that you think are really successful, take a bank like UBS or Nestle, or I'm speaking about Swiss companies, these big companies. When you go in the inside, probably you will see a lot of small problems everywhere.
Yeah.
But from the outside, it seems to be a big boat moving, and it's who, not how. If I ask you a question, who was the founder of Nestle? You don't know.
No.
So how come Nestle, after hundreds of years, is so big and stuff? It's a series of people that have been able to work together, using their abilities and aligning themselves to grow that business.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you do is you find the right people, you get the ideas, how to actually select them, direct them, and you let them do. So for all of these projects, I have people to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so when somebody is running a business or it's in the more leadership position, I understand how who and not how is very important. Also because then we become micromanagers. That's not what we want to do. We want to empower people to run the show, basically. But what did you do at the beginning when you didn't have people? When it was just you starting to learn?
I was exhausting myself. And you're exhausting yourself. I was working all the time. So again, right, not having time for kids, not having time for families, because you go on vacation, you want to answer yourself people. And then I started hiring people, but I was still doing all the work. So I was paying people to basically watch me do all the work. And because you sometimes think that, you have it in your head, it will take you more time to actually delegate. So learning how to delegate is important. And for that, you need to be doing an exercise in yourself. You need to try to prune yourself. I don't know if you, maybe your accent is a tree.
Pruning, yes.
So, or I have a dog, a dachshund. It's really hairy. So when you look at the winter version of the dog, that was me before. And then the summer version, when you go to the groomer and takes everything out, it doesn't look like the same dog anymore. It looks like a rat. And basically, this is what you have to do. You have to get rid of all these layers that are not necessary.
Yeah.
And then only, so you prune yourself, and you need to know who you are and what you're good for. And it's really frustrating because sometimes you want to be good at certain things. For instance, I love the guitar. I would love to be on stage here on Sunday morning. I'm complete crap. And it's ridiculous because I have a huge collection of guitars. If you come to me at my place, you'll see the guy must be a rock and roll star. And then they all ask me, can you try? And I said, no, I'm tired, whatever, because I'm complete crap, So it's not my unique ability. I said something else. I need to actually focus on my unique ability. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But if I would be on stage, I would need so much effort to be as good as the great people you have, right? So I need to let go of that one, right?
So I love what you're saying, because there's something about humbling yourself and saying it's not all about me. But also there's something around about understanding what is the uniqueness, what are these strengths, what is the purpose that God has put on you that you need to run with rather than everything and nothing.
Yeah, so it's a whole journey. I'm 49 years old and I probably discovered that when I was 40. I really believe, so I'm going to be into Christianity now. So I really believe when we fell down from Eden, right? So that God just took the puzzle and break all the pieces together and shake them. And now we have to find which piece we are. And you need to find not only which piece you are, but you have to understand also who are the other pieces around you, right? So when you do a puzzle, if you don't have any methodology, if you don't know how to do that, right? Then it takes you ages to actually achieve your puzzle. If you know that you may want to start with the frame, and then by the colors and by the things, then you'll be able to do. You need to know where you are in that puzzle, right?
Yeah.
So and put that in order again.
So how do you, on an everyday basis, how do you decide what's essential, what you need to spend your time on?
So what is essential, it should be only what you focus on, right? To someone who is circling, you should only focus your time on what you're good at. So often it's a difficult concept because at the beginning it says, but if I just focus my time on what I'm good at, then there's a lot of pieces missing and I will not be able to do all what has to be done, right? So especially when you start your own company and you single, then you solo, you have to do a lot of things, but you need to actually delegate to other people what you're good at. So what is essential is basically your unique ability. So you need to actually understand who you are and what you're good at. And often people get exhausted at work because there's two things. First, you're not focusing on what you're good at. So you do something that you've been told to do. Often, a lot of us have done studies mainly because our parents said, oh, you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be a lawyer. I don't know who has followed actually the parents' advice, Yeah, me. My mother wanted to have a lawyer. I was the first guy going to university. Am I really a lawyer? Do I like it? Yeah, I like it. I'm more like an entrepreneur. I love to build businesses, right? That's my unique ability. And so the unique ability, if you know who you are, and then if you have, in addition to that, someone on top of you that is not a boss, but is a leader. What is the difference between a boss and a leader? The boss is a mathematical guy that tick the box of, have you done this, have you done that, have you done that, right? So it's very German, with no offense, I'm half German, so I can say that. But no emotion. A leader is someone who knows how to actually pick people and be able to also say to an employee who wants to do something, but man, try this, you seem to be better. So to be able to actually find the unique ability in his other members and align them to work together. Yeah. And you will see, if you like history a little bit, in wars, when he had war, it has never been the largest army that won. It's the most organized one. The general with a few men that can defeat the bigger one because they're better organized, because they're aligned, because each of them are doing what they're good at, and then that defeats the enemy, right?
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned, because even in our first business forum, I don't know who was here at the first business forum, but we had the topic was team effectiveness, and the one thing that we all walked away with was, it's not necessarily your IQ or the education or the size of a team, but your competitive advantage is how you work together and how you build to each other's strengths. And it's the same with leadership, and the same when we are, we want to grow our careers or we want to grow our businesses. We really need to focus on that uniqueness in us and in the people to really be able to take the business or take work to the next level. Now, I'm thinking, you're speaking a lot from your experience as a leader. Now, you are not that kind of leader. If you were that kind of leader that just does, everything, but there were people under you that would like to focus more on the essentials, and they get a pushback. How do you continue? How do you communicate to the leader? What can you change to really shift your life to focus on the essentials rather than running and doing?
You mean for the people working for you?
So if people who have leaders, but those leaders don't care, they're not like you, but they want to be more strategic around what they say yes to, what they say no to. How can they lead up? How they can communicate? What can they do to inspire the leader to change?
Yes, so I think if you're in that position, do you know how to say no? And how to say no, meaning not just to say no, but how to say no, right? So how to guide people, or to be the neck of your leader to some extent, and to show him that what he's asking you is something where you're never going to perform well, he's never going to be satisfied, and to come with solutions. So that's also the difference between people that always come with problems and people that come with solutions. So if you are in a position where you're obviously frustrated, and boss doesn't want to understand that you're frustrated, and it will only lead to a separation at some point. Either he's going to fire you, or you're going to resign, and you're going to be maybe even having a burnout. How can you slowly, with patience, make him understand that you're really good at that, right? So that's it. Also lies on everybody's duty to find who you are, right? So, and to communicate who you are in an efficient manner.
And I totally agree with you, because I think there is something around, we put a lot on our leaders, we put a lot on the shoulders of the organization, but we need to take responsibility to understanding who we are in Christ, what's our purpose, but also what are our strengths and uniqueness that we can contribute every day in a workplace.
If you take the parable of the talent,
Yeah.
for instance. So the parable of the talent, you have that guy that wants to be hyper secure, and he doesn't want to lose. I'm going to tell the parable of the, maybe not everybody knows. It's a story in the Bible where there's three guys. One received 5 bags of gold, and he goes. So the owner gives him 5 bags of gold, and he goes, trades it, and he makes 5 additional. The other one gets 2. He succeeds doing 2, and the last one gets 1, and he wants to actually not disappoint, so he's hiding the gold, and he doesn't lose it. He doesn't, and he doesn't use his talents. And basically, he comes back and he says, "Look, I've saved your money. You haven't lost it." And actually, he gets somehow punished. And the reality is because he has not had the courage to use his talent to do that. And that's what in the Bible it says: if you don't try to use your talent to do that, you're going to lose it. You know, you can spend a full life of doing something that does not satisfy you, and to some extent does not satisfy the others because you're not happy with it. Because you're not happy, it doesn't make the other happy. And then that's what God tells you: you're going to lose your talent at some point, right?
So it comes down to the choice that we need to make every day. One is to know ourselves, to know what's the path that we need to be running on, but also to the little things that we have to do every day or choose every day. So from your experience now, all these things that you are doing, what helps you every day to stay on track? Because it's not always that easy, is it?
No, frankly, I can answer negatively. What actually kills me is when I come to a place and I see people are unhappy. It's really affecting maybe I'm more sensitive, but when I can feel when people are unhappy. So the energy you need to spend to make people happy. Human resources sometimes are difficult, right? And they're mainly unhappy because they are frustrated. Again, we come to the same, because maybe they're unhappy with their own life, or they're unhappy with their own work. For their own life, you can try to help them. For the work, you surely can help them, right? So it's what drives me is when I have a team, and each time I call the team, everybody's motivated, right? That is great. And that's my duty, to make sure that the team not only knows what they are good at, but then I align them together to work together. Because then when you have your unique ability, but then you need to make it work into that puzzle, right? You need to put one piece with the others, and then so that they all look in the same direction. There's no fight, there's no ego, there's no whatever. And then they all look. And when you succeed that, it's not a stable thing, right? It requires quite some care. But when you succeed that, then your team works, you make a lot of progress. And that's what drives me, when you see progress, right?
So seeing progress, that's something that helps you. But just thinking for yourself, do you need to remind yourself anything every day to make sure that you stay so focused on the things that you want to do, that you are called to do, that you can see you're good at, rather than say yes to all the other small things? Is there anything that, kind of keeps you on that path?
There's so many of them, but what helps me a lot is every morning I organize my day. So I take 20 minutes to actually say, what am I going to focus on today only? Because otherwise it's very easy to be distracted with so many things. Employees lining up, questions and stuff. So I need to actually protect my bubble of what is essential to me, so that I don't get polluted and I spend my day working for the others while I should actually work on my essential things.
I really like that, because I think that's what often happens, that we know what's important today, but we're very often hijacked by the importance of other people's stuff. Anybody else experience that? And we end up working half a day on things that actually are not the things that we've put down on
the only one that are somehow allow a little bit to do that is the family and the kids. And then sometimes it really pollutes you, because you need to rest, or you need to have your own time, and then you cannot, right? So that's the only. But that's, I suspect, is something you cannot do much
Okay,
about.
so what I'm taking from everything that you shared, and please add more and build more on this. One identity, who we are, who God has created us to be, what's our path, uniqueness and strengths, we need to build on this. But we also have to take risk. We have to be courageous to say no to things so we can say yes to the right things. We need to be very focused on the very important things, the things we need to focus rather than say yes to the things, small things around. Anything else I'm forgetting that you think we should?
Well, no, if you succeed this is somehow, we spoke about that when we prepared, it becomes your cross. You know, so what was Jesus Christ's cross?
Yeah.
His cross, he had the super cross. Though you cannot compare your cross with his cross, but so to save us, right? So he has his cross. So we all have our small cross,
Yeah.
and that's if you can combine, you can find your unique ability, and you make it your cross. Then you work for the kingdom, right? So this is, and that's a whole journey that you have to reflect on, and of course place yourself in that possibility. So it's of course easier if you have money, if you have, I mean, it's easier. Sometimes you're in a place where you have to first get out of your place to actually be able to have the freedom to actually do that. But and of course you need to make sure you have food in your fridge and all of that, right? But if you succeed getting there, then I think it makes you happy. And then what is essential is obvious,
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Anything else that you want to add, you want to share before we actually wrap it up?
No, I just want to share that I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be part of that church, to be honest. It felt on me a couple of years ago in an elevator, and it all started in that church. So
wow.
That's what I'm very happy. And all these reflections is also somehow indirectly part of that church.
So from us, we want to say thank you for sharing with us. It's been an honor, to just chat with you, because I always enjoy asking questions. But I think for us, and I say it with humility and honor and respect, just to learn from you and listen to your journey, to your heart around this topic, and what's important also for you as a business owner, as a leader, has been an honor. So thank you for that. Do we agree? Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.